Hi everybody, it's China Unicorn. I have the biggest story I'll probably ever be able to tell, and I haven't told it yet on camera, and so I feel compelled to share the story now. There's two parts. There is a video that's going to be specific mostly about the threesome that I had, the very first threesome I ever had in my entire life, which was also the first time I was ever with a girl. Details are going to be in part two. And part one of the video is going to be the calling I had to go into this lifestyle, the dream, the message I got in the dream, and how it all transpired. So it's a very powerful story, and I wanted to share the whole thing with you so you understood the depth of it. I've always wanted to be a bit of a swinger. When I was dating boys or guys, I used to look for women to have threesomes with for us. Never successful. Unicorns are very hard to find. They really are. So I never was successful when I was looking for one. But anyway, so I ended up being single and still wanting to enjoy this lifestyle. And I was really struggling because I wanted to do it with a partner. I wanted the safety and like the safety net of doing this with a friend, like a boyfriend or something. But it really wasn't working out that way. And so it was kind of be a decision I needed to make with myself of, did I want this bad enough to do it on my own instead of waiting for someone? And I didn't really want to do that. I don't think anybody wants to walk into a sex club alone and like look for fucking threesomes in random places. But it really was a time in my life that I was like feeling the calling to answer the question. So anyways, I was still kind of committed to trying to date. And so I had a date that night, this is the night of the threesome, which was Saturday, Unicorn Night at Oasis. I also had a date at 7 p.m. that night, I think. And it was a gentleman. And the hope was if we hit it off, then I would not go and have a threesome. I would just go and date men still. I would just keep dating men. And then if it didn't work out, I would go to the Oasis that night at 9 p.m. and go and try and have a threesome. That was my plan. So the night before, I go to sleep, and I am an intuitive, so I do get messages and dreams and things like that sometimes. It's not that uncommon, but this one stands out because of this story. So I did have a dream where almost like an angelic looking woman with like Caucasian with brown frizzy curly hair, a bit from like the 80s hairstyle. And she basically just leans in. There's like a white background, and she says the words to me, "You don't want someone who adores you. You want someone you want to talk to." And then she leans back, and that's the dream. And so I wake up, and I'm like, it's profound. I remember it vividly still, right? And I remember thinking, that's an interesting message, right? So I go on this date, and I'm like more DTF than normal. I'm like, my standards for this guy were lower than normal because I was like, look, I just really want to have good quality sex in my life, and if I want to find it with men, but like come on, men aren't working out. That's why I'm gonna go do the unicorn thing. And so, anyways, I go on this date with him, and he shows up, and he's just, first off, he smells so strong of cologne, and I have a sensitivity. So already I'm like a bit, like on this guy. And then he starts talking over me. Like every time I'd speak, he would interrupt my speaking to speak over me. And no, that's not gonna go well for me. It just is not compatible with me. Yeah, so anyways, he was just talking over me, and I remember zoning out while he was speaking over me, and I remember thinking while he was speaking about the words and the dream. And by the way, this man was looking at me with like the glow and the puppy dog eyes, like he just wanted to have sex, right? He was just like he was dressed nice, like he was there to like put on a good impression and have sex. And so anyways, I remember when I was zoning out, hearing the woman's voice saying, "You don't want someone who adores you, you want someone you want to talk to." And I just remember thinking, yeah, it's not this guy. I don't want to talk to him. So I really did decide at that moment that it was not that path that I was going to take, and that I was going to go and I was going to put myself out there and go to a sex club alone on Unicorn Night. So I wished him well. He was disappointed, but I wished him well. And I went home and I packed a little bag, and I walked, because it's close to my house, and I walked there. And I remember like going in, like I just, I was committed, and I walk in and I hand them like my money, or I don't know, it was free for unicorns. What am I thinking? Of course it's free for unicorns. Anyways, I remember going in and like getting a locker and like a little wristband that keeps a locker key on it so that you don't have to hold anything. And I remember going and finding my locker and like seeing naked people and being like, oh my gosh, like I can't believe I'm here, like this is insane. So I would just like get my locker, and I've never changed before in a change room, not even in front of women at this point. I even failed gym when I was like in grade 9 because I wouldn't attend the locker room part, because like girls like are kind of like self-conscious about that to an extreme sometimes. And so when I went into Oasis, I had never gotten fully naked in a change room, like in front of anybody. And here I am doing it in front of men with their cocks hanging out. So anyways, I go and I basically get down to bra and panties, which is a lot for me, right? So I get down to bra and panties and I get a towel and I wrap it around. And I'm like, okay, let's just go. And I want to drink at the bar, but I don't know how to hold money because we're kind of naked with a towel on. So I just worry about that later. And by the way, I am sober, not a joint, nothing. I am sober when I walk in as a single woman to Oasis on Unicorn Night alone. And I remember going out to the pool and like being almost afraid to like make eye contact with people in the pool. And like, I just saw an empty couch. And so I went, and there was an L-shaped couch. And so I sat in the middle of the L, right? And so I just sat there and just for like, luckily it was only for like a minute. And I have ADHD and I didn't even have my phone. I was literally I remember the moment vividly because I remember realizing that I had just planted myself in a situation. And I had no idea what was going to happen next. So then I'm actually sitting in there with a bra strap and a towel, and I felt so incredibly overdressed and embarrassed of the straps that I actually went back in after a couple seconds and got back into my locker and took off my bra. I kept my panties on, but I took off my bra and then I went back out and sat down. I remember seeing a bit of a timid couple, very cute, come and like look like they want to sit on the couch with me, but were afraid to like get close to me in case I thought anything. So they were like kind of timid and like they sat down and were friendly. And I ended up, so by the way, this is the couple I actually ended up sleeping with, first couple I talked to. So, you know, anyways, so I see the husband's holding a cocktail. And I literally just broke the ice and I leaned in and I was like, can I ask a question? I was like, how did you get a drink? Like, I'm like, how do you carry money? And so that was like a really good opportunity because they were able to give me advice, and then he offered to go buy me a drink, which was even better. And I was like, oh, that's so lovely. And so then he went to go get a drink while me and the wife started chatting. So it really started quickly. Like it was like 3 seconds after I sat down and like looked up, there they were, almost as if that was supposed to happen, right? So anyways, we're chit-chatting, it's going well. I'm very kind of nervous, but we're all just taking it slow, right? And then on the other side of the couch, there's another couple that sits down, and they're like from like Oshawa area, and like, you know, they were very not used to the environment. They were new as well. And so people bond if they're new there because you like go through the experience together kind of thing. And so we were kind of bonding about how it's like hard for me to show my boobs. The husband itself, I think, was a bit of a religious background, and he was like, oh my God, there's naked people. Oh my God. Like he was just taking it in, but like being very newbie about it. And so anyways, we're all bonding, and then there's like this seminar on unicorns that night because it was unicorn night, which means that couples show up, they get purple wristbands that say they're unicorn hunters. And then if you're a unicorn, you get like a pink wristband, and you can like, you know, look for each other wearing a wristband. So yeah, so anyways, we went to this unicorn intro session, and like we all kind of sat together, and it was my first time like feeling like almost a bit of on a date with them, because like I was walking to the thing with them and then back. We did that, and then the night was like going on, and like we smoked a little bit. Like it really was just platonic at this point. And I was nervous. I just didn't know what to do. I think I might have wanted a threesome with them, but I never ever been with a girl before. I had never kissed, I've never eaten a girl out at this point, nothing. Not fingered a girl, nothing. I've kissed a girl, but that was it. And then I remember I was in the bathroom, and it was getting close to the end of the night. And it was in the bathroom, and the woman that was sitting on this side of the couch, not the couple I had the threesome with, the other one, they were getting ready to leave. And so the wife came into the bathroom, and she gave me a little pep talk. So she was a really sweet woman, and she was in the bathroom, and she's like, so like, are you gonna go for it with them, because I think they like you? And I said to her that I was nervous, but like I wasn't sure, and I was, you know, thinking about it. And then she said, you know, something to the effect of, you know, well, this is your time, this is your chance, if you want one, it's right here. And then she winked at me, and I can't wink on demand, but then she winked at me, and then she left. And it was when she winked at me that I realized that she was the woman from the dream. She had the same hair. It was the woman from the dream. And I remember, I still get goosebumps when I talk about it, because I feel like she guided me, this dream person, whatever, angelic being, whatever you want to call them. I felt guided to do something significant in my life, and I was like, I just knew that time I had to go through with it. And so they left. And so the wife went to the washroom, and so the husband and I had a quick chat, and he's like, you know, like, we're interested if you are. And I was like, oh, I'm interested. I'm just not sure I can make the first move. And so he's like, oh, okay. So then the wife comes out, and then like they chit chat for a second, and like, it's like, you know, I'm just like, you could tell I'm nervous. And so the wife, I remember she asked if she could kiss me, and I said yes. And I just remember very soft lips, very soft touch lips. And then I remember realizing I was like kissing a woman, and it was fun. And like we really kissed, and like I played with her boobs, and like she played with my boobs. I think, like, you know, it's also fuzzy, but we were at Oasis, so we were on the 3rd floor, and I eventually lay down. She's on top of me. We're 69ing, the wife and I. And then, oh no, I'm on top of her. There's a lot of that's going on. I'm on top of her. I'm 69ing her. So I'm eating her out. She's eating me out. And then her husband first like comes and like puts his dick in my mouth for a bit. That's fun. But then he puts his dick in my pussy while she's eating me out. And literally I like had an orgasm while she was eating me out. It was insanity. It was like the best threesome ever. So yeah, I was like screaming because the sex is really good. And like, anyways, we had a really good time. I remember lots of kissing, like lots of him saying, oh, this is so hot, this is so hot. And then at the end of it, I remember we're all laying there, and he went and got me a glass of water, because I was like I was fucked out, right? And I remember looking up, and there was like a crowd like watching us, and like I didn't notice because I was fucking. I had no idea that there was people watching us have a threesome, but it didn't bother me. It was just like, oh yeah, I forgot I'm like kind of at a sex club. There's sex and people all around. So anyways, after that, we went out, we smoked a joint together, we went back upstairs. He wanted to go again. He was like, all right, like, come on. And like both the wife and me were like, no, we're out, sorry, we're exhausted. But like the wife was like, well, you can go find someone else. So anyways, we ended up going home. They drove me home. We connected numbers. We stayed in touch. And I couldn't have asked for a better introduction to fucking a girl, eating a girl out, all that stuff. And, a threesome. And I remember when I got home that night and I walked into my apartment, I just I couldn't believe, it was one of those moments where I just done something so significant that it was going to take my brain a while to process what had happened, but it was bliss. I just remember thinking, I fucking did it. It was wonderful. I'm going to do it again. And I love that club. So yeah, so that is the story. It really did put my life on a different trajectory. At that point, I didn't stop dating men, but I prioritized doing this alone in the lifestyle, and that's how I became a unicorn, which is a bisexual female in the swinger lifestyle looking to have sex with couples. So I get the ass out all the time, right? So that is how it all got started, and that was April of 2019. That was the day, one of the days, I think it was like 13th or 14th or something, where I crossed the line and I walked in a girl and came out a woman, That's the day I walked in straight and then walked out LGBT. I don't know. So anyways, that's my story. And I would love to hear if you ever had what your first threesome was like, or if you have a fantasy of a first threesome. I want to hear about it. These things are achievable. You can have threesomes too. So I want to hear your stories and your fantasies. So leave a comment below. And please subscribe because I need to get lots and lots of people seeing these stories if you want me to have more stories to then share all of my dirty details with you. So, you know, my oversharing can really just be your benefit. But I don't get monetized on videos where I talk like this, just so you know. So I just have to balance the kind of videos that I do. But when I go naughty, I go really naughty in the details. So, all right.